be a little bit more prepared.
The
but I think this is
hover?
certainly not. There's no way.
Well, this will be a very interesting Prime Gaming Age of Select if that is
I
necessarily
mean, you say the
case.
chamber hover, I'm looking at the Phoenix hover as well. This has got to be bait.
I mean, I think it's going to come through. Thus far, pretty normal stuff from both sides. Calm is going to play the Sova instead of the Killjoy.
Yeah,
So it is going to be Boostio going over to that one. I'm glad they got rid of the Phoenix. That was kind of a gimmick before. And Heretics do as well. Normalcy on both these sides. I'm very glad to see that.
I mean, this is perfectly mirrored compositions across both of these teams. This is entirely going to come down to prep, mid-round adjustments, and just raw aim.
Yeah, Kellogg's,
It's anyone's game round.
Kellogg's has been here before. This is his time to show us what he's got, because this is Jajimo's first rodeo. Kellogg's should be able to shut it down.
And if there's a player to step up in that moment, we already saw it in Game 1, it could very well be Kellogg. So let's now go ahead and send it back to your casters for map number 2. I hope they're having a good time, because I sure as hell am. It's Mitch and Tom.
Very interchangeable in their roles. It's just whether or not it's good.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to see. Mixwell coming in playing the Agent of Zeke, world champion. But then again, we haven't seen him since then, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's what a team is. You're not always going to come in playing your primary role. Let's see how this one goes already. Team Heretics taking it right into the site. Kellogg's good for one. But the trade is clean. The nano delays the rest of the team. And it looks like Boostio might even get out. He's being spotted, though. And that's a clean kill.
Yeah, again, solid flash. That one coming through from Mixwell. That's happened a couple of times where they have a lot of these sort of flash and dash setups coming out to give Kellogg's that opener. The fact that they managed to get a second one, though, that makes things a bit more interesting. Now, Ethan has pushed up into mid. Now, he's got a Frenzy, so obviously the range is not really going to be in his favor. So I don't know how much further than this he's going to be able to go. And it seems like they're waiting for him, just watching. And with him being spotted, he now has the decision to almost fall back.
Yeah, I mean, EG don't really have the ability to contain here. And, well, Jogamo, they've popped the nade down. That's going to delay a little longer, but they've still got a bit of time. Those spams through the smoke, on the other hand, massive damage. 13 HP left on Zeke, 68 on Mixwell. And what was previously, I mean, 10 seconds. Oh, there's going to be a fight in mid. And that's gone Team Heretics' way despite the low HP. BCJ left on 30, and he's got 2 opponents to deal with. Mixwell low. Look, this has been a scrappy round so far. But they're still in with a chance on EG.
BCJ desperately low on health. Needs an instant kill, and he's not going to get anything for it. Heretics have got themselves, I believe, their first pistol in this series. That was one of the main problems in the last map, is they started things off incredibly slow. Now, I'll be honest with you, in terms of this series, this will be the map that I expect them to take. A level playing field in terms of individual brilliance in the last map. I feel like a lot of it came around them having some really cool setups and takes. Now we're going into much more default ground when we're on Ascent, and that's where I think individually we've seen some very good stuff from the side of Heretics. It's whether or not there's been those same sort of creative ideas on the side of EG. Now for now, they've got a bit of a stack up in towards that A side, Mitch.
We do, yeah, it's a little dangerous with the clear intention from Heretics being to fight this side of the map, watching for mid and B with just one player. That's Zeke holding it down on his own. Now, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Zeke playing the Sentinel and Mixwell on the Initiator, because we have a position here where Mixwell, in the previous round when he popped that support flash for Kellogg's, he's last man into the site there. This is leaving, so basically, he can't do that if he's lurking, right? If he was playing a Killjoy over on B, it would have to be Zeke last guy in if he's the flash to play that exact role. So I almost feel like there could be a possibility Mixwell's taking this so Zeke can play more aggressive almost on the attack side with that Killjoy. Why have they lost so many players already?
He had to go for a knife because he ran out of bullets. This is one of the messiest rounds I think I've ever seen. What? BCJ just reads it in the smoke, and he's dropped the spike on the ground. Now Zeke does have the Guardian. Maybe not the greatest weapon for close range, but a single bullet will take out one. Trying to fake the time a little bit, and Calm coming up behind him. Time is going to be absolutely everything. Now the alarm bot is down, so it's going to give the information away. It means that this becomes an isolated fight. Spike's going to be retrieved, but he has to almost plant it here. He can't rotate, he can't go anywhere. So he's looking to try and isolate that final jewel. And with it, getting a little bit awkward, he will finally find it. He knows roughly where that last man is going to be, and the plant should be in. Maybe going to find him with the tag at least. That gives the information over to the other side, and an SMG's been picked up. I don't know if he knows he's close, but he finds the shot anyway. That round shouldn't have been remotely close, but luckily Zeke's there to save them.
Not even slightly, Tom. Not even slightly close. Aggressive play up to A. We said they're stacked up there. There was a danger, but I didn't think they would just bring the danger to them.
They needed a Red Bull clutch in a round where the opponents had shorties.
48 HP on Avova there. If he goes down, it's already over. They've got so much control at that point. Luckily, he got the kill, but to be that close to a knife. Calm. Calm.
Boostio ran out of bullets.
Let's get a calm cam right away. This guy's going to be coming through. Odin in hand, already with the reveal, and there's the kill. Zeke down and out. No lurking this time.
That's the only rifle on the floor. Now, it should be very easy to retrieve, and it's going to go into the hands of Mixwell. They've just got information on basically every single player. I think only Avova didn't get hit by that knife.
Decent shock as well. Stripped some shields, done some damage. And he's still got plenty of bullets left. He's been spacing out his spams. You don't want to see just people mag dumping 100 bullets into the wall. It's not going to do anything, you know? Nobody, at this level at least, is going to be silly enough to run into the spray. But you use it to periodically deny that control. Now you see the drone go through, and now he can start spamming again. Gets back up on top, and we'll hear the rattle in a moment. Oh, he even had the recon. Then he can do it a little bit later. Look, so here's, oh, this is actually nasty, the recon. He's going to time it. He's playing this perfectly. It just depends whether he decides to go for that spam, or rather when he does, where he's aiming. And it looks like he's moving back towards a passive B setup instead. So Team Heretics will manage to bypass it for now.
Yeah, they've smoked the alarm bot as well. So that's not going to be the information there. Just that small piece of utility has managed to put the pressure onto Com. First goes his way with the Odin. He is going to get tagged up at wallbanged as well. Mixo looking good so far, and now the Odin's in enemy hands.
The only rifle they had was a Guardian. You know, they had the chance to spam back at the start of the round, but they did it in the end. And now an Odin picked up for Boo, a recon. 20 seconds till that's going to be back online, and that means a last-second exec here from EG. Even gets a little more dangerous. They're starting to make their way in already, looking for space. Mixwell up close, going to be a massive danger. He's gone for the blade, swinging up in, and they had absolutely no idea, no iota what was coming their way, and the Odin wallbang to close it out. 3-0. They chose an early Odin investment, and they have paid the price.
Let me get this straight. Team Heretics playing against some shorties, some classics, maybe a frenzy. I don't know.
I think there might have been a single frenzy.
I don't really remember. I don't think it matters.
Big difference that makes.
One person survived. And when they run into a round with a Guardian, a Spectre, and a few pistols,
where Zeke gets wallbanged right at the start of the round.
Yeah, they lose the Guardian almost instantly. They win it with a couple of players alive and retrieve all the weapons.
Yes. You've got that one right, Tom.
Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure.
Don't know what's so confusing about that.
That's obvious, really.
That's how Valorant works, my guy. I mean, what can we do?
GB saw that one coming months ago.
He predicted that.
He actually sent me a message saying they're about to win this round comfortably.
He predicted that in the Halo days. He knew it all. It's not a surprise, man, honestly. He just has to rub his head like a crystal ball and the visions come to him. 3-0 right now. Weak weapons for EG. We know what that means. It's going to be a big round from the defenders. Just kidding. Boostio's already dead. Close corner for Ethan. That's one good damage. They need a follow-up, though. And so far, that follow-up's just not there. Nicely handled by Heretics all in all. And Mixwell ain't even going to... Ah, yes, he's just about back up.
Yeah, they actually did quite a bit of damage. Like Kellogg's going down to 4 HP, but ultimately with only one player being lost, it's not going to be too big of a deal for Heretics. And you also have to remember the players like Boo, who managed to pick up an Odin in the last round, currently have 6,800 credits, so not going to be too much trouble for them. A flyer of a start for Team Heretics. Bear in mind, last map didn't go their way, lost both pistols. They're now 4-0 up. And I'm even more gobsmacked. The man who is leading the charge, this is his first time on this agent. And it's on attack as well.
Like I said, you know, I almost love what they're doing here. I think giving him the freedom to play one side of the map by himself, if I'm picking anyone on their team, well, it's probably Kellogg's, but if I'm picking anyone else on their team, yeah, it's going to be Zeke to go play that role. And of course, Kellogg's often going to be taking the space and being the spear for the team. So I looked at this comp initially and I was like, is this Mixwell just like egoing the agent, being like, hey, Zeke, you're going to learn my old role? But no, instead he's actually come in and I think taking a very modest approach to this and said, I'm going to set you guys up.
His breach on the last map was very supportive. Most of the time he was not in a position at all to take any fights. So it's an interesting start. I also think for EG they need to bounce back now.
Can we see Mixwell right now? He's setting up a knife, I think. It's going to be a far one. He's just chucked it. That's going to be making its way. Then he's got a follow-up flash for his teammates to go through. They've got a recon up close. That's so much information. A great late-round set play. They'll still have one cycle of utility coming online for post-plant, but they've got to get onto a site, and they've lost Kellogg's.
Yeah, just a peek through the edge of the smoke.
That's a great shock dart
Good
as well.
timing. With 30 seconds left, they still have to push into the entirety of this setup. Now, this is going to force them back, but they're going to be able to delay with the utility they have. They're waiting to the last second to throw down those nanoswarms. That is brilliant from Boostio. They're not going to be able to get much of the space whatsoever, and now the remaining players of EG can start pushing back into the site. The turret has just managed to get a kill, and there's only 10 seconds for them to get this spike down. In fact, they have to go back and retrieve it.
All they need to do is deny it. It has to come in here and now, and it's done. They've already conceded. They knew the plant couldn't be secured, and this round will go to EG. Phenomenal stuff, and just a great plan. We saw Team Heretics with their late round info play for mid. Again, perfectly timed at about the 50-second mark to give you that last cycle of utility when you come to either a site push or to playing post plan. But instead, they run into this unstoppable defense.
The thing I love is just how late all of that was utility was
Patience.
Like that's the thing. Obviously, Boostio knows they can't have pushed up that far because of the alarm bot in the first place, but he knows they're going to run in at the last 4 seconds. So that's when he pops the util com. What is this?
Yes!
Why are you fighting this with it? Oh, Nick's going to get the kill! Jorgamo's found on the other side of the map as well. He gets dinked instantly and still swings.
Tom, all I'm going to say is if I try that in ranked, you are going to scream at me for the next
because you'll
minute.
die
I know,
instantly.
but it's a play, and I've seen it a pro play. I'm going to do it in ranked now.
Also, you don't have the dart
Gorgeous.
that gets in the
That is
king
also,
as well.
yes, that is also very accurate, but I don't need to hear your negativity. What a gorgeous play from Calm. I'm really enjoying this early round Odin. Look, that aside, they have the advantage, and Team Heretics do not seem to be getting any ground. Another player dropped. The spike confirmed to be outside of A, and at this point, it's like reading a children's novel. This should be easy as can be for EG. Not taking a step wrong to close it.
Yeah, really nice round from Jorgamo especially. Like just being able to almost work with the Havoc. That was the plan off the back of that. Like you have this aggressive Odin play, the dart, force them back and almost shimmy them back towards the B site. And in the meantime, he gets aggressive. So while they're losing mid control on the attack, they're also being pressured in B name. But they don't expect that. They're trying to reclaim positioning. So
He should have died so much earlier.
yes, he
The
got
fact that
dinked
nobody
instantly.
swings and-
He literally got headshot through the wall at the very first second and then went, no, I'm still going to swing this.
You will literally see like an op holding that angle given less respect from the other
Yep.
team. He's spraying with Node and they're like, I don't want to peek! Oh my god,
the
he's
insta-flash.
going all the way.
The insta-flash.
He's still going!
This is such an aggressive play. They had a dart to set him up as well. Just trying to catch Heretics off guard, and that's exactly what they've done.
Just a full anime battle, everything being thrown at this main. And in the end, look, they end up barely even, but a quick kill pulls it right back. The map control for Heretics here. They've got main, and they might be able to fight their way back out, but still 2 players waiting on the site. Calm knows that push can be coming through, and the flash on the other side was actually was that Mixwell's flash?
Yeah, I think so.
Unlucky.
No, it didn't catch him this time. They attempted it before, hoping for, I think, a very optimistic spam. And already Avova just trying to take the space. The utility is sublime. The tags coming through in almost every single scenario. Com's darts have been on point. I'd almost like to see them highlighted going forward, because he's been catching people every single time. Now, Mixwell's trying to just thread the needle here, but there are 3 players waiting in towards the spawn. Boo hoping he can chip them up with a little bit of extra damage, but they have another player watching in case Mixwell tries this exact play.
Yeah, again, in these sort of scenarios, with the man advantage as strong as it is, they just have to understand what part of the map they've conceded control of, and they understood it perfectly. Locking down spawn with 2, watching their back, and having a player on site comfortable to stay passive and wait for that drop to come through. There was 0 space given to Heretics here, and again, short of a massive individual play, there was never going to be a result that favored them. EG walking out with 3. And a strong start to this map for the attack side of Heretics, but EG quickly on their heels.
Yeah, this is the thing. I will say I imagine Heretics are going to be a fairly momentum-based team in general, but I also think that going into the defense, they could have a really stellar half. That's where you expect to see keloqz pull in the operator and really put up the majority of his numbers, and it's where the rest of the team kind of have to step up here. The thing is, though, EG, I sort of said it, like, you're not going to see a mass amount of new stuff when it comes to a set, but they do have some cool set plays. And that little flash not only blinded Zeke, but blinded the turret. So he was able to push all the way up and catch him off guard without any information going the other way. That's just
Analyst desks in the past, but she's working wonders with this team.
Well, let's see what the response will be here.
Here we go.
From Heretics. Have they got anything? This time it's completely different. It's not an Odin on short, it's the operator, but instantly smoked off.
Same play on mid. Knife reveal, slow peek up. Drone to answer it back on the other side, though. That's a good denial. Thing is, though, they've used a lot of refreshing utility here on Heretics, like a knife, a recon dart. Those things you get back. You don't get that drone back.
Is he trying to wait for the bot? I thought he was going to just spam a shot through, see if he can catch something on the cross. Dart, again, catches a couple of players. Just getting that information for EG, which they so desperately desire. And in the meantime, just to clear out some of these closer angles, Heretics are going to have to use the drone.
The benefit here, pushing those players back, stealing information from their hands. Look at the response. EG look to fight for short, and Ethan has the perfect flash. Not the perfect execution after, but it's at least got them the info, and that'll get the ult pop. That sent Heretics running to the other side of the map.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the setup's still ready for them. Turret watching. Ethan's also going to catch out of over, so no smokes to try and make this play work. Jorgamo rotating, Com on the cross. They are very ready for this, but Zeke wins the battle. It's traded back in mid. Their lurk is gone, and Zeke now trying to get that bit more aggressive. They have been slaughtered as they try and enter the B site. And EG, just moments ago, was sat 0-4. Well, they're level again.
Right back into it, and with that streak of rounds, they put Heretics onto an eco. From 4-0 down, they might just steal the lead out of Heretics' hands. And another gorgeous round. You know, Jorgamo checking for the player up on mid as well with that late of a push, with the fact that they had faked the A player, or at least had been on short not that long ago, and quickly shifted, running away from KO. Still at a player fake A, by the way. After all of that, you don't... I didn't expect the guy to be there, and I could see the mini-map, but he checked it, took the kill, and, well, then the one in spawn. Realizes he's tagged him, switches to the shorty. You gotta love it. This is the chance here for EG to walk away with the lead, and they should get it done. 5 Sheriffs and no ultimates to back them up. Just a From the Shadows for Revova, and, well, if you've seen this game before, you know, that's not gonna change too much.
See how big the Mitchman curse is today.
Yeah, now watch him like TP right behind someone, they don't hear him somehow.
There'll be a moment now where he needs to steal the spike and take it to the other side of the map.
Plan some 1v5s or something, yeah.
See, even though they didn't spot Zeke, they've spotted the activated turret. They still know that there was a player around this position just moments ago. The knife not really going to give too much over on the A side, but it's very passive. EG know what they're up against. Not taking too many risks and basically just waiting for their opponents to try and find something. And now Heretics are excellent in these sort of pistol rounds, but they're just being given nothing.
The knife save this time, and there's not going to be a dash to play with on the other side. A chance to do some damage, and they did manage one tag, but it's just going to be reset. Closing the distance at least, but with Sheriffs, how much can they expect here? The shorty on the other side having a whale of a time up close of overrun. He's got to reload at least, buys him a little bit more time, but there's too many players. EG were 4-0 down. Without losing a round, they've taken the lead back. This series might be under a little bit of threat for EMEA fans out there.
But that's the thing. As said, I do expect Heretics to be a lot better on the defense of this map. The issue I have is if they just get bodied out of the late stages of this half, I don't know if they have the stones to turn it around. Now that's the thing, if this just goes from 4-0 to ace-4, I don't know if they're mentally going to be in it anymore. Especially someone like keloqz, as we've said before. He's very up and down, and so far in this game, he's been struggling.
Well, we saw that 20 kills in one half, 3 in the next.
In the defensive half.
A complete change of roles, though, right? And this is the attack again, where keloqz can be slow. That's all fine. Next half, he can make the comeback, but they need enough rounds. They've already got 4, and there's an opening duel for keloqz. This could be the turning point for Team Heretics.
Yeah. good dart to get them that info, getting Jorgamo out of there. He's caused them so many issues with his aggressive plays, pushing B main, playing into mid. Finally, they've managed to shut him down. The thing is, though, instead of giving up that control and trying to play more passively, it's actually the opposite from EG. They have 2 players challenging, and they have deep B main control, which might not be expected just because of where the turret is.
Oh, BCJ, you need to go huge. That's gonna do it. A quick double. But unfortunately, we've seen Mixwell pop the ult. He's right back online. Boostio, though, wants to shut it down, keep those kills in their favor. 3 versus 3. Ability to fight back in. Ethan's got a kill, and they have a lockdown. This should be a round for EG. Team Heretics need to find an advantage. They can't just sit down and wait for the retake to... They can't just sit down and wait for the retake to come through, and here's a problem now. Okay, maybe not. Mixwell's fighting for it. He's trying to make up for that flash. If only he still had one. Time to run away.
Zeke's managed to find one, but he needs his teammate to try and hold on here. Mixwell, he gets the final kill. I don't know how that round ended up going their way. Obviously, he expected the door to be broken.
Yeah.
It just looks very, very funny. But the fact that he manages to clutch it out in the end, currently sat top of the board, 9 and 7, 13 assists. Come on, guys. I said you do this late in the day. This wasn't late in the day.
To be fair, you know what? To our replay guys out there, that one's okay. I greenlight that one. That was a funny one. The fact that he just stared at the door and then went, flash. It's just so great. He obviously thought they were about to break it, or his teammate was, whatever.
That was such a weird battle. Both players after the dash waiting for their gun to come out. A lot of damage done onto keloqz. A shock dart here would put him in the grave. And there it is.
On the mark.
I guess nothing. An attempt to try and catch them would have been trapped within it, but it was a sacrificial play, a bit like what Ethan's doing. Just running through 2 headshots instantaneously. Does he know, though? There's a player on the site. Seemingly not. Com's taking a lot of damage. 2 players tagged up, and Boo is now holding onto that cross. Just making sure that nobody has already made it forward, giving over the all clear to try and get this spike down.
Problem's always going to be a player walking down those stairs. Now they know where he is as well, and there's a flank coming through. Boo's in a lot of trouble. 30 bullets left, 27 now, and he's dead. 0 with Boostio dropping him. It's all onto Avova. This man has had more clutches than I can count. It's time to put another on the board. If Team Heretics are to hit 6 here, have any chance of winning the half, that's the first, but in comes the deadly duo, Ethan and Boostio. Low HP on Ethan. Boostio doesn't even need his teammate. Well handled, 6 found, and the lead's still possible for EG at the halftime.
But that's the thing, like, EG are just so disruptive in the manner of which they play. Like, not only when the lockdown was placed, somebody tries to, like, go into the smoke. You see the initial aggression as well from Jorgamo, just trying to do that extra damage. But then you also have Ethan flashing through the smoke and finding 2 kills. Like, Heretics are trying to find some sort of rhythm, and each time they just get someone just jabbing them in the ribs. It is a tough, tough match for them right now, and it's an even tougher bye.
It really feels like it's just a game where both teams are attempting to disrupt the other one. They have their strategies, which rely on making you uncomfortable, put you on the back foot, and, well, it's a treat to watch for now at least. Team Heretics, when they swap to the defense, this man here, keloqz, I expect to do a lot more. It's where he'll put up the big numbers for now. They've got one more round on the attack to try and pick it up. Zeke could be in trouble here. That's just a Sheriff. He didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, a bit of an optimistic fight to take. But in a round like this, you almost have to be a little bit more aggressive. keloqz into the site. He is the man that needs to go huge. First kill is Wade trying to take it all. And a little bit unlucky. BCJ full sprint headshot him through the floor. But they are blinded. A 3v3. Weaponry for Mixwell. Weaponry for Avova. It's possible.
It looks like we got another weapon picked up. It's not quite the same caliber. Rocking in with the Spectre, but it'll do something at least. Quick tag up top. That's going to slow your push. Mixwell, he's inside the smoke. He's up close. There's a kill. But it's traded right back out. The dash into the site from Jorgamo. And he's caught a no. What? I need a replay of that. But immediately. What in the... How? How? That's 7-5 at the half. Well deserved from EG. From 4-0 down, they've put 7-1 on the board.
A really, really impressive resurgence, and this round may be a little bit closer than it should have been. A nice attempt for them to bring this one home, but Jorgamo not only getting the first entry back in, but just finding absolutely everything as he dashes back into the smoke. We're definitely going to need to see quite a lot more of that, though, as they're going to be heading into the second half. They're going to be moving on to that attacker side. But first, we have a few people on the desk who want to have a chat.
We love chatting. We're big chatting fans.
Absolutely.
Yes, what a game and a start there. Obviously mirror compositions, but you're always looking to see what are going to be those small little details between each team that stands out. And I think for EG, Jorgamo right at the end there.
Definitely. And Achilleos, we have got a second half lineup here that certainly excites me. Team Heretics moving on to this defensive side. 1,024 days. We saw 763 for PaperX. Mixwell's putting up a few more numbers there. He's been here since day one, back in Team Mixwell, and all the way back then, we knew him. And a lot of these players, even on the same rosters, for being strong on Ascent, for putting up defensive sides here. If they're gonna do it, this is the place to make that stand, but Evolva down right away puts the A side under threat.
Well, a freebie at least. We'll turn it back into a 4 versus 4. I think they're probably going to wait to try and play the retake. A bit of a longer rotation coming through from Zeke. In the meantime, also got this aggressive push. It's expected. It's being watched for. I don't know if he's going to get too much from this, but even still, time has been bought. Now they look to reposition, go back towards that main spot as the retake begins.
Two frenzies on the drop down, just shredding them, turning them to Swiss cheese. Ethan hitting every single shot, and no chance he's stopping anytime soon. 4 kills for this man. He was impressive with a Yoru and a frenzy and the pistol, doing it here on the KO, and both times it didn't matter what agent he was playing. It's just about shooting people. 8 rounds for EG, and another nail in the coffin for Heretics.
That's the thing. I think coming into this series, Ethan was one of those players where I was like, okay, he's been on a lot of good teams in Valorant, but I don't think I've seen the best of him. I think going back to previous FPS games, he was a talent, a true talent within the game. So the fact that he is performing this well, he was the best player in the first map. He's looking like he might be the same in this one.
It's also worth mentioning, because we focused on Zeke a lot, obviously. I mean, Boo, I know him as a top-tier controller.
Yes.
Obviously, Evolva, though, is even higher above. He has reached the highest heights across his career in Valorant, and he's been here since day one, much like Boo. So, again, something to note, just that Boo not playing on a role that we typically see him, and I think we field much better results on that controller. It's teething issues for Team Heretics, and then you can see those things over time, but they better start to figure it out here and now. Only a couple of rounds for it to slip away. And I say here and now, I more so mean the next round. Obviously, they've got classics here. And
here and now would be nice.
But it would be great. It's something EG would probably do. But yeah, I think you have to accept, especially because 3-man stack early, trying to fight B main. And EG now have that read, and they move towards the A side. It looks like they'll have a much easier time.
You say that, but Heretics have also got the read. It's just about timing. If there can be even a little bit of delay, a smoke's going to go down. This could be perfect. Into the smoke they go. Mixwell gets one. Now the full force of this Heretics roster is going to be in position. However, they're starting to get mowed down. Zeke's found another. Boo through the smoke gets one more, but he's traded out as well. Zeke has got another. It's all onto BCJ. keloqz with the Sheriff, trying to bait him, but the spike is down deep. There's not much time left on the clock. He's just waiting and watching for the shots not connected. A chance for keloqz, but he can't quite close the round.
Hey, look, they stack up B. They try to fight you there. You make the read. You go to A. You get in there just before they do. Walk out with one player alive. That's not how I thought things were going to go.
Yeah.
But great sign for Heretics. Hell, that's going to get your morale up a whole lot higher. Not only will there be less weaponry to deal with in the next round, because you think about the bonus they would have, Spectres here and there. Instead, they should be playing like 4 players on an eco. Are you going to do that? Are you going to force up into it? Well, it's time to decide. Barrier's already up, and Stingers in hand. Full investment. This is a big play out of EG. If they can fight back here and now, that might just be the end of Heretics.
Yeah, it's still somewhat a half buy. Like, they have saved
A
some
little bit of
credits.
cash, yeah.
So even a plant might be enough to get them a purchase into the next round, especially with the lower shields. keloqz is going to be forced out of there. Never mind, he's dead. Traded by Boo. But that's a weapon on the ground. He needs to get a little bit more. Spam is finding at least a bit of extra damage. The flash throws put him down. He's on 2 HP. He needs to wait for reinforcements.
He ran into the nade as well. Must have thought that was the last pulse on it. Now rifles retrieved as well. Ethan and BCJ stacked up with Mixwell on 2 health. One of the toughest clutches facing them, and in such an important round. This could set the dominoes on their final cascade. It's time to make that retake happen, and Boostio stopped them with a stinger! Team Heretics, they had to do it here, and now all hope is on Zeke. The 1 versus 2, he knows where they are, but it's a whole different ball game dealing with them. BCJ deals the final blow, 10 rounds for EG. There's gotta be a very, very dark atmosphere in the Heretics camp right now.
Well, they've won 1 round of the last 10.
One of the last 10, Tom. I mean, I know it's that bad. It was 7-1 in a row. He said that, but like, one of the last 10.
It is.
This is a map we knew them for, Tom. All of these players, defensive side. Then maybe keloqz steps it back up. The man was 20-6 in the first half of this series. Unreal.
Oh, they're investing again. The thing is, the way the last half started, their 4-0 began with them doing exactly what EG have just done to them. But they now need a streak of rounds. And if I'm honest, I feel like they need to start it here. It's not the greatest purchase, okay? A Guardian did well for them in the last half. Maybe it can again. And they are desperately hopeful that this man can step up. Trying to play close. Got a little bit of support from Avova, but he goes down, and the trading, the spacing, it's perfect from EG. They don't give them a moment's notice, instantly taking out the A defense. This round is already done.
There can be no doubt at this point the level of play all across our global scene has been elevated at this event, even in the Alpha group. Some of the cleanest Valorant we've gotten to see, and I think EG just a shining example of it right now. Meticulous play. And there just seems to be no way that Heretics can find those advantages, those ways in, hell, even a glimmer of hope at this point. Saved Bulldogs, some credits. They can try to fight back, but Tom, look, that's gone. We talked about it at the start of this round. You said you wanted to see them started here, and I'd almost disagree a little. I'd say a little lighter than that. I'd say I want to see them at least have promise in this round. Make it close. If you lose it, I'll put that down to the weaker weaponry, but you've got to have the foundations here for that comeback, and we did not see them, not even remotely.
Oh no, and that's the thing. You're looking at the other side of the scoreboard. It is literally every single player performing.
Yeah.
You have got Ethan right up the top.
On the board at long last, a dabbing penguin to seal the deal, but well, we're going to need to see 7 more in a row if they're going to take it here and now. Otherwise, OT's their best hope. And okay, we get an early pick out of keloqz, which is great to see. It was a default play from EG. Tried to spread the net, end up getting caught by the op. I wonder what their adaptation will be this time. And actually, it seems to be just a much less passive hold over A. The same default played around mid and B. So BCJ or what? He's going to pop a smoke and then just stay on the boxes, try to deny that aggression.
Yeah, they got their lockdown as well in this round. Blade Storm available.
Oh!
Plenty they can do. Flash is decent, but it's only a trade. It gives the setup. BCJ gone again. Now this is a bit more of a problem. 2 rounds in a row without having those smokes. They need to almost just find the space, find the gap, and right now they're potentially peeking in. This lockdown's being used as a ruse, a fake, to try and bait them into the rotation. They're going to use up one ult to try and counter it, and in the meantime, keloqz has found another. Avova about to come under pressure as well, and in fact, he's somewhat been baited by the fake plant. It's not going to go down, but he knows where they are.
Still hitting the shot, another thing. Great flash, but another player out wide, not caught. Boostio grabbing himself another, and we end up 2 versus 2 lockdown. Could be the turning point of this. I mean, that is blocking out all of the control, and Jogamo, he's going for it, he's updrafted. At least he's staying aggressive. He just needs the kill. 1 second to go, and it's not gonna happen.
No, you can't
down
do
to
that.
Bite-sized little niblets. He's chopped up. And we're gonna end up with 7 on the board for Team Heretics. A stylish 7th as well.
That's the thing. We saw Mercy in the last map. Maybe it was also the time was low, where they could have ended it with a knife, but while Zeke has decided that he's not giving that same sort of mercy, the lockdown becomes the crucial part of this round, and just being able to deny. That's the thing. I don't think there's a single moment for Jogamo where he's annoyed by that.
No,
He seems to just be laughing and enjoying
Try to
himself.
spin, just don't knife me once, you know? Maybe I'll survive long enough to get my gun back out, but you know, that was an ambitious play. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! He's gonna do it right off the rip! So much damage done! I love this man, and there's the follow-up with the stinger! A brave TP on the site for the info, and it works out for a trade.
keloqz is going through. He's pushing in. He's going to get tagged up by the drone. A chance for him to be taken out almost instantaneously. Now Boostio desperately low. The rotation now coming back in. But they do have themselves that Odin to almost try and man the cross, to try and deny them back into the site. They will have a decent idea of where he is, though.
I love this, man. Yeah, attack side Odin, it hits different. That's a BCJ call if ever I've seen one. Calm, ready, and waiting. Here comes the big boy! Another kill, and that's shut them down. Heretics only have a Vova left, and he's revealed.
What? That was a nasty shot back through. He actually tries to use the dart to bait it, but it doesn't matter. The trade comes out from a teammate. EG, so much spice to this roster's ideas at least. 12 and 7, 5 in a row needed for Heretics just to make OT.
That is nasty, because it's such a hard thing to do, dashing into that Odin still when Boo, even if he's blind, he can just keep spraying it. The man knows the pattern. But the updraft dash in, that just ruins you. There's no way to track that player. They slide down the roof at such a fast velocity.
While they're swinging as well, they also then,
High
a moment
velocity.
later, put a dart so that then the player looks away and they get the kill.
Yeah.
So their utility is doing so much for them.
And they had used it from the shadows at the same time. So like, it's just so much going against you.
Okay.
That's a great early fight for Heretics. They had so many weak weapons here. Okay, they're fully aware. They've naded him, they've flashed him, they've hit him so much, and Calm will only get the one. Mixwell, though, quite low, and now that he's gone down, this is scarily doable.
Yeah, look at the guns. The remaining 2 players only have stingers. And there's plenty of time for Boostio to play with. Taking the orb will get him close to having that lockdown online. If he heads back to the B site, well, he grants them weaponry, but at the same time, he gets himself a Sublime after plant. Bear in mind, the plant will give him his ult and be able to burn some extra time off the clock.
I mean, they are right on his heels. They're seeing the steps.
They haven't got guns.
They've decided to go through mid. And they've been spotted. Now, the element of surprise was a massive factor with them sneaking up behind, but one player, at least on top mid, Boostio's going to take the risk. A quick rotate, obviously cautious of the continued mid push, and then he'll grab a plant on B. That plant is going to give him his lockdown. And with the turret watching for market and spawn pushes, look at the amount of time he's going to have. They literally could not be further away. The position they are in is as far from B as I think it's physically possible to be. And now, what that means, Tom, Boostio could be anywhere.
He's trying to time this as well with the lockdown. They're going to have to full sprint into this site the second he places it. If he gets the timing right, they might not even be that close by the time they move in. There's the turret. Lockdown not yet used. Holding it at least for the moment, but he is waiting for them to just get that little bit further into the site. With the time ticking, just going to try and battle and waste it as much as humanly possible. The first not quite going to go his way, and they need to get on that diffuser, but they will have plenty of time in the end. Just trying to isolate them, trying to fight them, but it didn't quite work out this time. Heretics, an aggressive play to start the round, and they finish it in turn.
You know, if he had even the slightest idea how far away they were, that lockdown would have been placed with perfect
I guess
timing,
the thought process as well is they're going to run him down anyway. If he puts a lockdown, he not only gives away his position of exactly where he is, but also they'll probably kill him within the time anyway.
They're going to run it.
It's better to have that little bit of secrecy, especially with the nano swarm down. He almost played it so that he could buy time from out
that could be
exactly.
anywhere. The thing is as well, right, for him in that spot, there might be a guy in B main. He spotted someone mid with the alarm bot. He didn't know how close they were to the doors. They could have easily just crept up, been right behind him. He puts that ult down. They know where he is, and then they capture him in the back of the site. So not using it there, completely get it. From our perspective, would have won you the round. But he'll only know that when he watches the VOD back.
Lockdown in play. Full retake being set up. Sting is across the board. Utility being used, and Combs found the opener. That lockdown's gone. In fact, he's got two. What an incredible Hunter's Fury to start the round. A trade from Evover at least makes this one look feasible, but they are still in a bad spot.
I think he hit both of them with that first Hunter's Fury blast. It must have, because the second one was the one that got the kill on Mixwell. And I don't think anybody had seen him. If he has just blind ulted Mixwell and Kalat shot him, that is the most unlucky timing. They've got stingers on the other side. The ult was one of the only things that they had going in their favor, and comes late. 3 kills for this man, and it's the first time he's fired a shot. They still haven't dealt with him, and by the time they do, there's so many players rooted in on the site. A good attempt, wrapped down to just one. Jogamo has to do it alone. A stinger, good for the first and the second. EG have done it, and Team Heretics are going home.
They have had so many spicy little set plays, so many incredible ideas from a young squad with an added little bit of experience, and a fantastic coach, it has to be said. They have 2-0'd Heretics out of the tournament. Not
He
the
did!
performance would
He
have
collapsed them! Stop it! That is insane! The guy came in with a stinger, he killed 2 people with his ult, only trying to get one, didn't know where they both were, didn't know where one of them was, and then he kills another with a stinger flank. That is disgusting. Calm.